Is that it? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
What was that all about then?
What was that all about then?
We're in the same situation we were when we landed in Australia. We've got to win 3 tests to win the Ashes.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah, no,
quite like that
okay. I
thinking.
can get behind that. Hello and welcome to Tailenders.
Hello, and thank you for having us on Tailenders.
That's Felix White. Next to him over here is Jimmy Anderson.
Go on, cheers.
Sir
Hello.
Jimmy Anderson. And this is G-Force Greg James.
Go on.
And it's a loosely cricket-based podcast from the BBC. And at times of cricket trauma, I'm so pleased it's loosely cricket-based.
Yeah. But is it though? Because the first thing that I'll just raise is that we have all, and we haven't planned this, we've come dressed mostly wearing black. And that is because we are in a state of mourning.
Yes.
We've got into it before about Sharky being an Everton fan, dressing black when he's not doing it at the moment because Everton, he's in bright colours because Everton doing well. Jimmy, you're even in half of a state of mourning.
Yeah.
Navy blue.
Yes, but
It's
England blue, showing my allegiance to the...
Yeah. Me and
Cause-
Felix, we're dressed like stage hands at a theatre.
yeah, we are like floated. If it was all black in the background, it would be like my max.
So I guess we do need to try and understand what happened at the Gabba, the second Ashes Test match, where Australia have won by 8 wickets. They go 2-0 up in a 5-match series. There's been so much talking. We're going to add more talking. We're going to do more
We
talking.
can't add any more cricket.
There's been so much negative talking.
Yeah.
Everyone's really enjoying the negative talking.
And we were trying to not do the negative thing after the first one, weren't we? We did
Tough,
consciously reasons to be cheerful.
It's tough though. Thanks for joining us on YouTube
No,
or
you're welcome.
iPlayer or BBC Sounds or wherever you're listening to this or watching this. We do this every week, this Tailenders podcast, and we're doing some special visualised episodes for the Ashes. I got to say, I'm regretting that decision.
What, because you don't want to be on camera in a state of mourning?
Well, we could have swerved it a bit, I think.
Yeah,
But we've
okay.
sort of contractually... Look, enjoy the episode though. We are going to go for it.
Yeah.
And we're going to be as honest as we can. We're going to get the fan perspective from me and Felix. But Jimmy, I want to dive in straight to you. What?
What?
Is that it? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
What was that all about then?
What was that all about then? Talk about that.
Yeah, it's, difficult to dissect everything that went wrong. But I think the first innings obviously was tough. I think we were short by at least 100 runs. And Ben Stokes talked about it after, like there's those moments in games that are pivotal that mean you either kick on, when you're ruthless, you kick on and get yourself into a position where you can win the game.
Yeah.
When you're not ruthless and when you make a wrong decision or a bad decision in that moment, then you fall back to either level and then you lose your foot in the game. And I thought in the first innings for England, that Harry Brook dismissal to Stark,
Yeah.
he was 30 not out, Root was batting at the other end, and Stark came on for a spell. I think it was the first ball Harry Brook faced off Stark, and he went for a wide flash, and he's trying to hit it over extra cover, went really hard at it and edged it to slip. And those are those moments where if they build a partnership there, they could really, Australia with a weakened attack, they felt like they were there for the taking that day. And on the back of Crawley's 70, they were 5 for 2, not a great start, but Crawley and Root get them back in the game. Brook and Root keep building on that, and that is where they should have gone. Right, we're putting our foot on their throat here. We're going to go and get 400, and they sort of ended up scraping to 330 with Jofra getting some runs at the end.
Yeah, and this is all without Hazelwood and Cummins as well, as you're talking about. This was Lyon. They didn't pick Lyon. This was the opportunity. Like we said in Perth, it was the opportunity. I've sent so many messages to all of you and to Sharky, our producer, and mates of mine who said, what's gone wrong?
Yeah.
I'm so confused by it, actually. Am I confused or gaslit?
Or
Was I led to believe that something was going to happen when it wasn't going to happen? But what do you put it down to, Jim? Because you've played out in Australia, and it feels like everyone talks about the pressure closing in and the off the field pressure and the chat and the crowd and the occasion. Is it as simple as these talented cricketers have bottled it, panicked, and just can't think clearly in the moment on the pitch? Because they're not. These are some of the best cricketers in the world. What's happened? Well, they're not prepared. Are they not? What is it?
I'll go back to what Ben Stokes said after the game. It's those crucial moments of making the right decision. And unfortunately, it's not just happened in this Ashes series. There's been signs of it a little bit before. We talked about it last episode where it happened against India at the Oval, where we're in a great position, we lose a wicket, and then everything caves in around us. And it felt like the same thing happened again. Being able as a player, you've got to be irrelevant of how talented you are. You've got to be able to think about the game enough to be able to recognise the crucial moment. And I know, going back to that Harry Brook dismissal, I know he can't predict that Australia are going to get 500. We're going to drop 5 catches, but he should be wise enough to know I'm going to be ruthless here. Joe's batting really well. If nothing else, all that chat about Joe Root's 100, I'm going to be there and get him through to his 100. And he sort of gave it away. So I just feel like it's too many times now where that's happened, and I felt like that's what Ben Stokes was getting at in his after-match interview. He was so passionate, and you could see he was almost like trying not to swear, trying not to like let the rage come out. He was trying to be really controlled, but there was definite frustration and anger there within him.
Yeah.
Jim, just quickly, I want to ask you, Jim, because it occurred to me then you were talking and we've been messaging across the series that you are now understanding, maybe a little bit too much we wanted, what it's like watching England in Australia. How has your experience this test been? Because I felt like, just as we were messaging each other through the test, but you were getting that sense of what it feels like to be helpless and at home and watch them playing shots like that. Did you have a different feeling of like, what's he doing from inside the dressing room?
No, because I felt like that when I was playing. When the batters got out like that, I was like, what? I'd be like that in that situation.
Okay. Well, then in that case, what would you be? That's what you'd be saying anyway.
I feel like in my head.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
No, I'm not. It's not. It's down to the batter and the coach and the captain to figure that out.
Yeah.
As me going up to someone and saying, "What are you doing?" is not going to help. But I felt like I did find myself when England were bowling, like I was just thinking, pitch it up, just try and pitch it up a bit fuller.
Yeah.
But then,
like it's under 11s.
I was catching myself a little bit, thinking I've been there when you know where you should be bowling. It's not quite happening. Your rhythm's not there. It's not going your way.
Yeah.
It is hard in Australia. Like there's a lot of pressure on you. So I'm trying to. I do understand what they're going through, but at the same time, I've still got that fan sort of.
Well, I mean, we try. Obviously, we're not monstrous people, and we are maybe we are. No, but I do sympathise with all these top level sports people. It's one of the reasons we love watching it. It's because we're going, I could never do that, and I don't understand how they can. In this case, the England team can't do it. But you kind of go, okay, this is very, very difficult, clearly. But I'm fascinated as to why they can't bring it together when they are the best, some of the best in the world, and there's not someone just running up and going, can we just take a minute, we need to regroup with this bowling. So it didn't feel like, and I think Stuart Broad made the point of bowling in a unit, and you have done that so well over your career many, many times for years.
In and out of spells.
But bowling as a unit, and if someone is slightly off their line, you take the brunt. Or it doesn't feel like there's that cohesion within the bowling unit, and maybe with the top order of the batting unit as well, being like, we all need to bat as a 7 in a way, or an 8 with Will Jacks, and go, this is what we need to do. If you mess it up, I can cover this. Joe's going to get his 100. We need to go at this tempo. It doesn't feel like that there's a strong unit there, maybe. Or experience or something.
Yeah, there is. It feels like there is a little bit of something missing, but I think the one sort of way you can tell whether people are really engaged in the game is in the field. And take the drop catches out of it. I know there were 5 drop catches, but that can happen. Like I've dropped catches myself. I've been in teams where one person drops one and it just starts to become contagious and everyone's dropping it. But I didn't see like a collective like energy in the field of let's swarm them. When we get a wicket, let's jump on them and really try and get our teeth into their batting line. There wasn't that kind of. It was like you could see almost people thinking about the shot they played, or thinking about I've not got any runs yet, or
that is what they're thinking. Surely.
No, but you can't. You can't think about that. You have to, you've got to be so in that moment.
Yeah.
You can't be drifting off. And it just felt like that was happening in the field. And when I think it gets exposed more when the bowlers aren't hitting their straps, which they didn't. And it's very rare that you get all 4 bowlers not, you expect 1 or 2 of them to nail it. But it felt like they were all just a little bit off, out of rhythm or something. There was something not quite right. But then when you're not backed up in the field, then it just makes it even worse and makes it a bigger problem.
Self-preservation society sort of vibe,
But also, if we're spotting that on the telly,
but it's
the
hard.
The Aussies are pouncing on that. Obviously, they would love that.
So on that, another frustration for me was seeing that last 10 overs that England bowled.
Yeah.
When Australia needed 60, the game's gone.
Yeah, suddenly.
All of a sudden, Joffre's bowling 153 kilometres an hour. His fastest ever spell in Test cricket.
Yeah.
Wow, was
when
it?
they need 60 to win.
Was it really?
He's having a dart at Steve Smith when they need 15 to win.
Yeah.
The field, there's a bit of buzz around in the field. Gus gets a couple of wickets. His high, where's that on day one? That's what.
Let's start the Ashes again now.
Just
from that last 10 overs.
Yeah.
It starts here, actually.
Real quizzes now.
Yeah.
From day one, I actually got up. I had a buzz the night before of adrenaline for, I'm going to score the whole first day. And I woke up 3:30 and literally scored it. The whole first day's play, which I'm so glad I did, because it would have been awful to do it on days 2 or 3. But the thing that was really, apart from just being I've loved doing that so much. I find it meditative, especially when the sun's in Australia and it's pitch black outside, and then as you're going through the night, it almost it's like the sun was going down in Australia and rising in London type thing, because it was getting bright exactly the same.
It was,
because it literally is.
Yes,
So but it felt like you can see it through your screen. But the thing that was really evident about watching it, Jim, which I hadn't really wouldn't be able to tell if I'd just been watching it from the sofa, is that when there's been, let's say, 10, 12 dot balls, you just know the only person that's not affecting is Joe Root. And it happened with Brooke, Duckett. When there was a spell, and it's not always picked up on, actually, because people are commentating, watching the game. But when you're bowling literally 2 overs, where maybe 1 run's gone for those 2 overs, you know that they're not going to be able to help themselves but have a swipe. Like Joe Root can do that. He went a long period without scoring, and Ben Stokes obviously can do that as well. But you just have this sense that they have got a trigger happiness in them, which no matter what the plan is, they just can't help themselves.
Yeah, but I think part of that is decision making on England's behalf. But I think also you've got to take your hat off to Australia. I thought they bowled really, really well.
Yeah.
So they did do it to Joe Root's second dig.
Yeah.
Stark was bowling back of a length, chucks one up wide, and Rooty's waiting for a back foot shot, and he sort of goes to drop his bat on it, and he nicked it. Subtle things like bringing the keeper up to the stumps so that Zach Crawley can't move towards their length and get it on the half volley. He's stuck in his crease, and then you end up Pope and Crawley sort of just sticking on one in the second innings and chipping it back to the bowler. So little things like that. And I just think they did every sort of facet better than us.
They're much more comfortable as a unit. They're playing at home, but also there's this thing which I think is a brilliant point made by Matt Pryor in the telly, which I don't think had really been said too much over the last couple of weeks, about the idea of there not being many senior players in the England team that are fronting up and being part of what you were talking about, Jim, being loud in the field. Alex Carey going, I'm going to stand up here. I'm going to back myself to stand up. That's going to stop him doing this. There needs to be strategy, not just from the captain. There needs to be strategy from everyone, really. And creating that bit of magic, a run out, an amazing catch, a bit of chirp. When you've got, you can sort of imagine it. If you're batting and in the slips, you've got Carey, who's maybe up to the stumps chatting to you or just chatting around. You've got Smith, you've got Labuschagne there. You've got all those characters just getting involved. You don't see that with England necessarily.
They're not that type of character, though. You look at their slip cordon, for example. Smith, Root, Brooke, Crawley, Duckett.
Yeah.
They're quiet kind of people. They don't want to get into a verbal battle with the batter. Same as the bowlers, even Gus, Cars, Joffre, they're generally quiet people.
Mm.
It was only towards the back end where we saw Joffre going at Steve Smith, and Stokesy was, Stokesy loves that sort of battle. But from being in that dressing room, I know that Brendan McCullum's not a massive fan of that side of the game. He just wants us to go out there and, focus on the cricket and do your, perform your skill as best you can.
But there's other ways to express yourselves. I'm not saying sledging is necessary. It's about energy and running. And Matt Pry was making the point of he would always be busy and running around, patting the good fielder on the arse and just going, that was great. Like just rallying the troops a little bit, because it can't all come from Ben. And it feels like it all comes from him now. It's
about energy, yeah. And I'd agree with that. I think it looked like, Ben had a lot on his plate on the field. He was the one coming up with the ideas for what field there was. I didn't see many chats between Harry Brook and Ben Stokes, who's vice captain. You'd expect that a little bit more. Ollie Pope was vice captain. I didn't see him, going up to Ben, and I saw a little bit of Joffre chatting to Ben Stokes, but generally it was Ben on his own, that's how it looked from the outside.
It's interesting what you just said there, is that because of the perception of them, or what's been thrown at them now, is that they're quite arrogant, overconfident, overprepared. But we'll get into that in a second.
I'll put an asterisk by the word overprepared.
Let's get into overprepared in a second.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting what Jimmy's just said there, that they're actually quite almost timid people, but they're quiet, because our public perception of them would be that they're almost brash, but on the field they don't have that sort of arrogance.
Is that because of the way they play, or the?
Yeah, I guess it would be the way. But do you know what I mean? That's what, if you read all the press and the criticism of his England team, it's that they've drunk their own medicine to a degree, and they believe so much in their own hype that they're getting it served back at them.
I think to add another word to that, aloof.
It
feels
yeah,
a bit
which
like
can
that
be
sometimes,
both things.
which feels and that comes across sometimes, and it might not be how they feel. I'm sure they don't feel like this. It feels like they don't really care as much as we want them to.
But
and I'm
they
sure
must
they do
though,
care.
Jim,
but
right?
there is a communication issue, I think.
Yeah.
Between the sort of passion that we all have watching it and the passion you see from the Australian cricketers. I'm sitting there going, I prefer watching these Australian players. I actually prefer their approach to playing this game that we love. And I look at some of the England players and I'm like, nothing to latch onto here really, because you're not getting any runs and you kind of look like you don't really care that much. And that's probably unfair, but that's what it comes across as.
Do you want to answer that one, Jim? Because that's interesting from the perspective of like...
do they not care?
Well, they clearly do.
They clearly care.
But you must have had it before in England teams where it feels like, because they're making bad shot selections, unfair things.
Yeah, but I just think this is an Ashes series. Everything's going to get jumped on.
Yeah.
There's been little cracks in the past couple of years where, there'll be a comment from one of the players, we don't care about winning, it's how we perform or entertaining, that sort of thing. Not necessarily don't care about winning, but they just say something that doesn't quite land quite with the public or the media. So I think all those little things stick in people's minds, and then when they don't perform, people just latch onto them.
Sure.
And especially in Australia, it's going to get latched onto. So the golf thing, over preparing, whatever, all these little things are going to get jumped on and made into bigger things than they actually are.
I just sort of want to see a bit of humility, I think. And you know how...
Well, Stokes showed that actually after the game.
He did.
And I think that's the first time when he said exactly what we saw. And I think maybe he was just in a corner where he couldn't say much else because it was just obvious what had happened. But I think there was a relief even, and just, you used the phrase gaslighting earlier, that Ben Stokes said what we saw at least, and there was some sense of alleviation with that.
Yeah.
He also used the phrase weak men.
Yeah.
Which I found fascinating.
Tricky one, that.
Because we've always been talking about this England team not coming from that old psychology of that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of, I don't know, he probably will be asked to elaborate on that a lot. But it was almost felt like, that him looking at accountability in his own side for the first team, actually.
Yeah. I just, when you see the Australia players being interviewed, and I know they're on top at the minute and they're at home and they're having a great summer and all the rest of it, and there is strength in depth in that team, and they've got their 2-0 up in the series, but it feels like they are enjoying their cricket and they love communicating that to the audience watching. And I very rarely see, though, you see it with Joe, you see it with Ben, you see it a bit, but you don't see the whole team sort of looking like they're having the best time when they're being interviewed. It's always a bit, why are you asking me that question? Well, well, it's just how we play. It's just how we play. And there's a slight disconnect between what they're trying to communicate or do and what we're receiving from them.
But I guess if they said then, I just had the best time, we wouldn't be that happy about
No, I know,
that.
but just a bit of like, I played a bad shot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go
exactly.
work on it. And
exactly
it's not about saying sorry, because it's not about that. It's about saying, I actually bowled really bad areas there, and I'm going to really work hard because my place is in danger. But I don't feel like they think their place is in danger in the side, because maybe it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love for them to be, because you talk about the Aussies being talking to the media and stuff like that. I'd love to see players come out and talk to the media. I've not seen the vice captain once do press this trip. You know, don't send Marcus Trescothick, send the vice captain or Ollie Pope or whoever.
Yeah,
just someone.
That's what I'm talking about. Who are our heroes to sort of bat for?
But I think because they've said stuff in the past that we've got to protect them. We've got to make sure they don't say anything or they're not asked a dodgy question that's going to make them feel bad. So they get protected. Whereas actually, people want to hear. That's what
absolutely
makes that's what. How you warm to a team is by seeing them, and when players are vulnerable, that's what people want to see. Like not just when they're on a high and they've got 100 and they've got 5 wickets, they've won a game. Actually, there are 11 human beings in that dressing room.
Because, pun intended, you root for them, and we love Joe Root mainly because he's the greatest English batter we've ever seen, but also because we've been on a journey with him where we've lived his captaincy. And we've lived how sad he got when he was not performing how he wanted to perform. And therefore, the highs we share together and we share the lows together, and it's part of the story. A similar thing this week, Lando Norris winning the World Championship in Formula One. We've been there throughout that whole journey. It's the same with Lewis Hamilton. It's the same in all these sports. Like, let us in, because we want to live it all with you. And we would understand Crawley a bit more if we knew about Zach Crawley. We would understand Ben Duckett if we knew a bit more about what his mindset is. Is he just going out there and trying to bat badly? Obviously not, but communicate it.
So, just a quick point on that the media and the situation England are in. I know for a fact that the Australian journalists, or a few in the media and ex-players, were ready after day one of the first test to pounce on Australia.
Yeah.
You know, they're at the age of the team, the age of the squad, the shape of the squad. They're not, you know, you look at Steve Smith and Travis Head batting, they're not in the best shape they've ever been in. So it could have been so different if that had gone slightly differently. So I think we've got to sort of hang on to that as England fans. Like we were that close to starting this series well. The situation we're in is not great, but we're in the same situation we were when we landed in Australia. We've got to win 3 tests to win the Ashes.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get behind that.
You actually said, Greg, after you heard Stokes' interview, that like for some reason I still believe him that we're going to win the next 3 tests.
I would do anything for Ben Stokes.
There's only one person that can make you feel like that. What I will say is that it was another. It was a change of what entertainment is, because we've obviously been force-fed this idea that hitting every ball, trying to hit every ball for 6 is entertaining. But true entertainment at test level is Ben Stokes grimacing while blocking the ball. Yeah. That is when you feel like your face is 1 inch from that TV screen and you are living every single second with him. Yeah. And as we know with Ben Stokes, he tends to peacock what is required and exaggerate it. So the same way in 2019, Headingley, he scored 3 off 73 or whatever. Just that last day, if we're going to find reasons to be cheerful, he batted, 2.5 a day with Will Jacks, unscathed. Yeah. That was another way of Ben Stokes, rather than saying it, just projecting what it takes to play Test cricket. And you never know. I mean, are they going to go completely into their shells? Probably not in the next 3 tests. But there might have been just a glimmer there of this is how you bat time in Australia.
entertainment for me in Test match cricket is seeing Ben Stokes having been doubled over, being hit in the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is.
And as we've said many times before, selling it like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
With 2 broken knees.
And quickly, exactly.
Get the table. I'm putting Pat Cummins through it.
Harrison Ford. Jimmy, question to you. How many teams have you been in where you feel like you've over-prepared? And could you have benefited from under-prepared? Yeah.
Stop sending Brendan McCullum out for interviews.
It was Narky saying that, I thought.
No more. Stop it. Send out a player.
So, I obviously know why that's wound people up.
Yeah.
But I can see what he's saying in terms of when they've had 5 days of practice before what is meant to be a 5-day Test match. That is a lot. That is a lot of practice, especially if guys are going in every day. You know, someone like Joe Root, I know he'll bat for an hour, 2 hours each net session. So it's a lot when you, especially the bowlers, you want them to be fresh going into a game in Brisbane where it's hot. So I can understand that from a mental point of view. You've got to find the balance of getting the stuff that you want to get right, and also having enough breaks and so that your body's fresh and your mind is mentally ready to deal with 5 days of Test cricket.
Mm-hmm.
And he also said in that interview that they're going to look at the training methods, and I think that means like I'd rather focus on quality rather than quantity. So I'd rather have a 1 hour net session where the quality is like above Test match level.
Yeah.
Rather than doing 4 hours of nets, just hitting a few balls and making yourself trying to make yourself feel good. Bowl a few to the keeper. You need to. It's got to be intense. It's got to be high energy, high quality.
Yeah.
That's how teams improve. That's how players get better.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, no, there's so many things in my head that I'm actually fascinated by what's happening in a weird way.
And what's going to happen.
Yeah. My rational brain is saying it's 5-0.
Could be quicksand, so bad.
But I don't want it to be that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just want to quickly touch on this Brendan McCullum era, which is known as the Bazball era, whether we like it or not. Is what we're seeing now, this might be a completely wrong, incorrect theory, a warped version of what everyone worried Bazball might become, and it's suddenly become that, where everyone's trying to play in a way that's not natural to them, and a lack of confidence has meant, we're supposed to be hitting everything. Are we? It's Bazball, remember? Because it's definitely seeped in. They know about the chat around it. So what is happening, and why does Ollie Pope bat? Why is he batting like he is at the minute? It feels like there's a lack of confidence with a lot of the players, and the bowlers seem to be all over the place as well. What is it? Because there's confused messages, because Brendan McCullum wants one thing, but the individual players want another, and Ben's saying this thing. What is it? A lack of cohesion, maybe?
I can't imagine there being a lack of cohesion, because I think, when Brendan and Ben took over the captain and coach roles, everyone bought into it.
But I think we all did. I did. We thought that's actually
You're asking
great.
about from a player's point of view.
But now it seems to have got progressively worse. It started like the idea of everyone being able to be galvanised, be comfortable in who you are, express yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. We're gonna be aggressive, but it's not. But it's been warped into, let's be reckless with our aggression. But actually, the clever thing is to just be on the front foot.
Yeah.
And
so I think what you mean is that even if their inclination wouldn't be to play that way, they have sort of, because of the doctrination of this idea, they have to go out and play that way.
Exactly. But there's nuance to it, and I think the nuance of Bazball has gone, if there ever was any, which was Ollie Pope, go and be the best Ollie Pope you can. Don't try and be Harry Brook. Or actually, Jamie Smith, you don't need to go and be, I don't know, Adam Gilchrist or whatever. You just got to be you in that role. And I just wonder whether it's just got warped a little bit, and with the added pressure they've all gone, I actually don't know what we're supposed to be doing. Am I supposed to be hitting this, or am I playing for time? What am I doing?
But they've made that statement because they, for example, dropped Ben Folkes, who kept immaculately but batted in a more traditional manner. They've played Sam Cook for one Test match, having nibbled it in county cricket and been really successful. Or feels a bit thrown under the bus there and dropped immediately. Liam Dawson, they've given one Test match in not those conditions, so they have flagged to everyone that those types of cricketers and that type of behaviour is not going to get in an England team. So I thought about the way they bowled, sorry Jim, the way they bowled Nesta especially, and I thought, Jimmy, Chris Wokes, Sam Cook on that wicket, different game.
Tongue.
Anyway, Jim, take what you want from that.
I mean, going back to the point of what the players think, I think it looks to me from the outside, again, it's so hard. We're just guessing here because we're not in that dressing room. We're not in the players' heads. No idea what's going on. No idea what the conversations they're having are. But it does look like they're just the added pressure of, an Ashes series, the added pressure of a deciding test against India. They're not making the right decisions in those moments. They've got the talents there to play the way they want, but they're not adjusting to the conditions. They're not, delivering their skill under that added pressure. And that's what I'm seeing from the outside. It's not that they don't know whether to stick or twist. They know how they want to play. Each individual knows what their strengths are.
Okay.
We saw Zach Crawley went away after the first test, got a pair, came back with a 75 and a 40 odd. So he's obviously worked at something and he's got the ability to score runs out there.
Yeah, he did.
He's now got to, and I know he's not necessarily that type of player who's not shown that consistency through his career, but now he's got to be thinking now, right, I've shown it this week, now I've got to go one more and get that 100,
like
get
Joe
that big
did.
100.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. I'd be interested to know how many of those batters came to the ground or after the first test thought, right, do you know what, I messed it up. I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to get a massive 100 at Brisbane, because that's exactly what Joe Root did. Ben said it after the game. He apologised to Stokesy and he went, no need to apologise. He's like, I'm going to get you a big one next game.
Come on.
And goes away, works
Joe.
really hard. And I know it's different because Joe's more experienced. He's got probably more quality than anyone in that team. He's that good a player, probably more than most people in the world, actually. So he's a different animal, but I'd love to see a few more of those guys have that mentality, that mindset of going, right, I'm going to be the guy today. If I get to 20 or 30, I'm going to go on and get a massive 100 and get us in a position to win the game.
It's giving me shivers even thinking about that mentality.
I believe it again now.
Yeah.
I changed my mind, I believe it.
I also often thought it looked like they were trying to get out. Like if honestly, if you were trying to find a way to get out in Test cricket, that's how they played. If you look at Stark's figures, 6 for or whatever, you look at the score, but you could look at my scorebook if you want that I scored, and you think, oh, Stark was swinging it, he was unplayable. He pretty much just hung it outside off stump, and they all got themselves out. And I've said it before on What's Happened, I'll say it again. I've not been more disappointed with as long a wait since the Stone Roses' second coming. It's like I'm halfway through Stone Roses' second coming and it still could get good. It could still be the first record. Do you know what I mean? But we need Love Spreads to come on that record very, very quickly. Let's just put it that way.
This is it. This is why we're so frustrated, because we know that the talent in that side. We've watched bad England sides do better than this.
Exactly.
Do better than this.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen better ones do worse, though. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a tough place to go. Like when things start going a little bit wrong, everything feels like it's going wrong. You just end up, every little thing you do away from the game as well gets picked up on.
Right.
It's like the catching. Like it looked easier to drop, harder to drop those than catch them.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things. You're like, how has that happened?
What are you thinking, Jim? Are you thinking I want to? Because you did text, it's hard to watch cricket. Do you feel like is it hard? Is your experience like I want to be? Give me the ball.
Yeah, it just makes me want to play.
Does it?
Oh,
Yeah.
you.
It just makes me want to get out on a field and play cricket. It makes me want to go out in the back garden and start bowling.
Does it? And bowl areas, bowl the
Just
correct areas.
See if I've still got it.
Get
yeah.
out there. Just turn up.
I'm not going to Australia.
Just go to Australia with your kit bag.
Yeah.
Go. Where do you want me?
Did you ever think, because you haven't said that up till now, but that sort of prophecy that we need pace in Australia,
Yeah.
do you think that's true, or is it proving not to be true?
Well, it was proven not to be the case. I mean, you first things are the first test. You think, yeah, it's a great plan. Bowled them out for 130.
Mm.
Think it's going well.
Yeah.
This test, I mean, we got played at a sort of completely the opposite to what we expect to get.
Yeah, it was mad.
Played at, with the keeper up to stumps.
Well, I
to
mean,
Nisa and Boland.
it looked like at one point Nisa was. It felt like they were facing Alan Donald. They didn't have an answer to Nisa, and actually the tweet of the year probably.
Go on, I know what you're going to say.
Came from Cameron Ponsonby. England spent years not picking from county cricket because it's different to the Test game, and now they're all getting out to a 35-year-old seamer with the keeper up.
That's what I thought that, again, while I was scoring it. Am I watching Champo Division 2?
Yes, it was though.
And it's like,
but
stood up to it, nipping it around.
But the batting wasn't as good. Jim, you should be doing that. You go out there and do that.
Batting.
Well, both. You go out there with
right-handed,
with Jamie Smith up to the stumps. You'd get a hatful.
I did.
You put it on a length.
I made this point to someone the other day. I thought it was a great tactical thing from Australia, as I said before. But I used to hate bowling with the keeper up. Still hate bowling with the keeper up.
What, did your ego hate it?
It's not. I maybe a bit of my ego, but I just the visual of. I want to see like behind him. I want to like. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I didn't feel.
You want to see? Yeah.
I want to see the ball like carry through. And not just hit his gloves.
Yeah.
But just on that though, Carey coming up to stumps, he was unbelievable.
He took a couple super high, didn't he?
There was a bouncer I think he took real easy. That catch over his head as well, the high one where Marnus was trying to jump on his back.
To get there.
Yeah, great.
I just thought their field, that Smith's catch. Oh my God,
that was the
game-changing catch. That.
Yeah.
Will Jack's catch.
Not as good as Smith's.
No, not as good as Smith, but come on.
It was good.
Slim pickings for us.
Did that justify his selection?
Yes.
I thought his second innings with Ben Stokes
he played really well,
selection.
And Jimmy's been saying for a while Jacks could be batting free, and I think that might end up being the case. Can I just quickly say, essentially, I've really tried not to be angry about all this, but something about this second test broke me, and I became, Tailenders is supposed to be the antidote to this, but I became the 80-year-old man shouting at the television, "You stupid."
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to put a positive spin on it for you.
Please do.
You scored Joe Root's first 100 in Australia.
See, that's nice.
I can feel water coming behind my eyes even when you say that.
Well, look, okay.
I've lived every single ball with him there. And do you know what was so beautiful? You hardly noticed he was there a lot of the time. Crawley scored runs quickly. Brooke did for a period of time. He's just there.
Yeah.
Just driving the car. Just like cushioning it down fine.
That's how
playing
he does
your
it.
beautiful shot. But he's just
driving the car.
Isn't he?
Just easing on the brakes when it's a red light.
Yeah. And it's like Harry Brooks grabbing the wheel for like 5 minutes, going, "Whoa!" And Joe Root's like, "No, I'm driving it.
Yeah.
Get out of the passenger seat."
He's taking a lovely road trip.
He's just driving that car
Whereas
from
Harry Brooks,
countryside.
He's a rally driver.
Exactly.
And you don't need that sometimes.
Exactly.
It's a great comparison.
Shut up in the back. It's very like that.
That's it.
Anyway.
And the rest of the Pope's there with his L plates on still.
Yeah.
Having to grab the wheel sometimes.
Oh, God,
careful, mind that f***ing car.
I feel bad because I do love it. I feel like what happens if they win? Like, what happens if they win this Ashes?
That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
But the vitriol headed their way. How are they going to... Because it's almost becoming confrontational. Very confrontational now.
Fuel them.
It has got to fuel
It's got to fuel them. It has to. This is it, isn't it? This is why it's so difficult. But Fee, let's finish on two nice things then.
Okay.
So the Joe Root 100, you barely notice he was there. The opposition doesn't notice he's there sometimes, just quietly accumulating. And that's what all the rest of the batters need to just watch that and go, oh, we can do a bit of that when the situation needs it.
Yeah.
How good was his celebration?
Great. But did you hear him talk about it?
No.
Someone said, did you do that on purpose? He went, no, I just I didn't know what to do because I felt like I sort of should have had one already. So I just went,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Joe Root.
It was like a sitcom, like the camera fading and it just going slowly up in his face, signing it, Joe Root.
So good.
Everyone needs to be a bit more Joe Root in their lives, I
love
think.
Joe.
Come on. So give us a couple of highlights from that innings then that you were scoring. Because that's a lovely artefact you've got there in that scorebook.
Yeah, so I've got it all. I didn't go coloured pens. I'd put it on social media. A few people disappointed in that. But I felt like
some people are never happy.
I know they really aren't, are they?
No.
Get in the comments. When you are scoring stuff, though, we talked about it before in Tailenders, there is a very small cup of tea window at 4:30 in the morning. So you have to make sure. Basically, put it this way: when the keeper's up to stumps and Nisa's bowling, you cannot make a cup of tea during that over.
No.
But if Stark is and he's holding his back a little bit, then you can go kettle, bang, score, come back, tea back, bang, come back, dot ball, come back again. Oh, Brooks nicked off. Of course he has. Wicket. Come back, pour the milk in, get a seat, come back in again. Oh, who's out now? James Smith nicked off. Fine, thank you. Off. Come back, finish the tea, bring the tea back to the thing. Oh right, it's 135 for 6. Off. I hate you.
There you go. And
how's the non-swearing going?
That's the second test reviewed. Done. Tick. Thank you. Come on then.
But that's what we're angry about, is we have to get up so early. I know you do it because of the breakfast show, but we've all got to get up at 3.
Earlier.
And then we've got to be at 11 in the morning. Oh, I'm going to get on with my day now, but I've just had that. That's why I text you guys so many times saying, you know, David Brent, when he's Austin Powers, and he's like, do you think I'll take it back if it's a bit of fucking ripped? That's what I felt like this week.
There we go. Do you know what this is? You know what this podcast often is?
Now I've got to do my day.
It's therapy. And it's therapy to the viewers and the listeners. It always has been. It's therapy to us.
Thank you for having me in therapy.
And it's hopefully therapy for Jimmy as well. Give us your bowling attack for Adelaide. By the way, little subplot that I loved in the post-match interviews is that Ben Stokes kept forgetting that Adelaide was the next test. And he was like, we'll be better by Melbourne. We'll be better for Melbourne. We'll be better by Melbourne.
Yeah.
Right? Do you mean that?
Oh, we're getting pumped in Adelaide, by the way, but by Melbourne...
We'll be all right. We'll be all right in Melbourne.
It's 3-0.
Don't you worry. But he did it in 2 interviews. And I thought the first one was a mistake. And no one went, Adelaide's next, mate. Yeah. Anyway.
I think they saw it in his eyes that they weren't going to question him or
Imagine that. Agnew just going, actually, it's Adelaide next.
It's so true. It's like an angry teacher you don't want to bring up. Like,
what would Ben have done to Aggers? Just walked off. Just peanutted him.
That's quite a fascinating dynamic that we're having between those two, aren't we?
Lovely. It's a love story.
Yeah. I would love us to win.
Yeah.
And just see the sort of changing,
Well, if they do win the next 3 tests, all the coverage just ends with those two just snogging. Fade.
It's so true.
Fade to black.
Because that sort of tension doesn't come out of nowhere.
No.
That tension is connection.
There's something going on there.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Physical.
Who's bowling? Who are you taking there?
Sam Cook, Chris Wokes, and yourself.
You've got to have some. Nieces.
I think Josh Tongue's got to come in.
Yeah.
Might as well.
We haven't got any nieces.
That's what I'm saying.
Why
is Sam Cook not there?
Potts is the only one. Matt Potts is the only one that could do that job.
We've got the original Nisa here.
Boyd Rankin. That's what we're getting towards, isn't it? Boyd Rankin's playing.
So I bring Josh.
Not even knows what he bowls. Sorry.
I bring Josh Tongue in.
Yes.
I'd probably keep Jackson because his spin looked decent when he bowled.
Yeah. Great catch.
Just for the balance of the team as well. That's probably my only person I think to bring in, because I'd definitely I'd tell Joffre that Steve Smith's been calling him names behind his back out there, and just fire him up before he gets out there, because I want to see that 153km/h bowling. I want to see that at the start of the Test match.
Come on.
I'm worried that you don't ever come back from that over where you start sledging Steve Smith and he hits you for 6 and then calls you champion. That's hard, isn't it? That's hard to come back from. That is hard. He will, I'm sure, but it's hard to.
Such a fascinating use of being condescending, calling someone champion, isn't it? Yeah.
I had to actually turn the telly off at that moment.
Did you?
I think
When-
they've played together quite a lot, you know.
Yeah.
They've played together like 35 times, Smith and Archer.
Yeah.
They've got a great connection. And
No, it's fun. I mean, it's fun,
Yeah.
but like, it's fun if it's not, as you said, 15 runs to win.
Yeah.
It's fun on day one
Mhm.
of the Test match.
Yeah.
That's great fun. Good. Great fun is a nice place to end today's Tailenders.
Still in it. We're still in it.
Mathematically
We've landed some blows.
in it. Yeah. Thanks for watching and listening to Tailenders. We'll be back after the next Test match in Adelaide. And thanks. Easily done, isn't it? See you then. Go well.
Cheers.